This is Two Chicks Talkin Flicks, where we review movies. Love them or hate them, someone's got to do it. So enjoy the show. Hi, I'm Sarah, and this is Two Chicks Talkin Flicks and anything else that gets in the mix. And today I am here alone by myself. I know, scary. I'm nervous. You're nervous. We shall see how this goes. So when I was preparing a second movie for Thanksgiving, I ran out of people. So I am doing this one all by myself. And so I guess we'll just see how it goes. So because I was going to be alone, I decided that it would be weird if I asked myself questions. So I decided to review more than one movie, but all of them have a very similar theme. So we're going to start off with the first one. This is the original movie that I was going to do with a co-host, and it's called Holiday Engagement, and it stars Bonnie Somerville. I know her as Mona from Friends. You might know her from something else, but that is what I know her from. Shelley Long, she plays her mom. We have Jordan Bridges. He was on Rizzolian Isles. I didn't really watch that show. Some people did. Not a fan. But if you were, he was on that show. He plays the brother of Rosoli. And then we have Sam McMurray. He was Chandler Bing's boss, I believe, on Friends. He's been in so many things. I couldn't list them all. And then we have Haley Duff, who her sister is Hilary Duff, so you probably know her from that. And then we have the girl who plays Jan Brady in the Brady Bunch movies. She has like a very small cameo. And then one other notable character is Sam Horrigan. He plays Surfer Dude, who ends up dating Bonnie Somerville's best friend in the movie. I know him from like 90s movies. He's the big bad character and the Little Giants. He's the awful one. What is his name? It's gonna drive me crazy. Hold on. Stay with me. Bear with. Oh, Spike. I should have known that. Yeah, he plays Spike. So I had to mention him just because of that. So, I will give you a little rundown on what this movie is about. So we have Bonnie Somerville. Her name is Hillary in the movie, and she has just gotten broken up with by her fiance. But like they'd only been dating for a year, I think. No, it's less than that. It's like 7 months. And dated for 7 months, engaged for 2 months. So it's not even a year yet. I don't know why that bothered me. Like my parents were married or engaged within like a very short amount of time, and it's not because my mom got pregnant. My dad just knew, and they were together until she passed. So, almost 50 years. And it can happen, but it just seems weird because this guy was like really into himself in business, and she is completely different than him. They're a very odd couple. So you can see why it didn't work out. Anyways, so he breaks up with her, but she has a very controlling mom. Or not controlling, but she is very in all of her kids' lives and wants them to be together with somebody partnered up, and just doesn't want her to be a spinster. And so she's been telling them about this guy. He's a great guy, and that they need to, he's coming for Thanksgiving. And when he breaks up with her, her friend convinces her that she should get somebody to pretend to be this guy. So she had won a contest to get these 2 tickets to Playa del Carmen. And so she uses that as a bargaining chip for someone to join her on her family vacation or family Thanksgiving. And so we have David, who Jordan Bridges. He is the lucky winner. He's an actor, and so he is going to play the part of Jason. And Jason's a lawyer, and so when he gets brought into the family, everybody's asking him for legal advice, and he has to kind of try and navigate that. I don't know why I really like this movie. It's one of my favorite movies. I liked it so much. I think it's a Hallmark movie. And I liked it so much that I had recorded it and then saved it on my TV forever. And then I ended up finding the movie and was able to buy it because I liked it so much. I think it came out in like 2011, not quite sure. But I really, really, really enjoyed this movie. So essentially we just have her family's real crazy. Her sister, played by Haley Duff. I don't know why I always get them confused. Haley Duff, she plays Trish. She's married to like some councilman, or he's, has money. So they have a nanny, they have a kid, and he's not at Thanksgiving for whatever reason. And then we have her younger sister, Joy, who is engaged to Peter, and he is a foot doctor. And oddly, like, he loves David, loves his feet, and is like always touching them and talking about feet. It's like a weird character, but I kind of like Peter. He gets the short end of the stick at one point, and he has to go away because Joy breaks up with him. And the mom's like, well, we're all family. Well, except for you, Peter. Poor Peter. But he's weird at one point after touching Jason's feet. He eats a bowl of chips. First, he smells the chips. I think they're Fritos, so they kind of had the same, I guess, Frito feet smell to them. It's gross, but kind of funny at the same time. Not a fan of that. I'm not a fan of feet. Don't touch me with your feet. That's all I have to say about that. And then we have where Hillary starts to get convinced that she is getting married. So her mom asked her when they were getting married, and she's like keeps probing her. So she finally says a date, and it's coming up very soon. And so her mom is like, well, then we need to go get a dress. So they go get a dress. And that's when we run into Jan Brady. And then she brings over a pastor, which is a problem because Jason, played by David, is Jewish. And, obviously he can't get married in a Catholic church because he's Jewish. And then eventually David, aka Peter, or not Peter, Jason, convinces her like, hey, you're not really getting married. But she just kept thinking like, okay, if I keep making these plans, maybe Jason will change his mind and he'll come back, and I've already made all these plans and everything will be fine. And David's like, no, he's not coming back. And on the flip side of the coin, David also has someone who he's trying to get win back. So he had gone on a trip to Playa del Carmen before and met this girl. And he is thinking that if he takes her on this trip, she'll come back to him. Well, unfortunately, he is her get back guy. And so every time she breaks up with her boyfriend, she gets back with David to get the other guy to come back to her. And Hillary was like, no. Will you stop that? Hillary's like, no, she doesn't want to be with you. You're essentially the other guy. She's never going to be with you. And they set up a plan to get the tickets back from her because this girl thinks that she's getting the tickets for herself to take her man. And David's like, he didn't have the heart to tell her, no, the tickets aren't for both of you. They're for you and I. And so Hillary helps him get the tickets back from her. And that's kind of where we see them start to like each other. And of course, don't you know it, that's exactly when Jason, original, comes back into the fold. And for some reason, she takes him back, which, I'm sorry, if you break up with me right before going on a Thanksgiving or any trip to see my family because you think we're going too fast, I'm not going to take you back. That's just not going to happen. But for some reason, she does, and then she instantly regrets it because she realizes he's such an asshole, and she doesn't really want to be with him. Oh, we have a really cute, before Jason interrupts and comes back into her life, we have a really cute moment at the very beginning of the film. The way she wins the tickets is she calls into a radio station and they ask her what her favorite Christmas song is, and she says Gloria, which every time I hear this movie, I know what song she's talking about, but every time she says Gloria, all I can think is Gloria, Gloria, I think I got your number, Gloria. But that is not the song she's talking about. And so later on in the film, they have a piano at their house, and he sits down, or David sits down and starts playing Gloria. And it's a real cute moment. The two of them are singing the song together, and everybody in the house stops what they're doing and comes and watches. And it's a real sweet moment. And you can see that he cares about her and actually listens when she talks, unlike Jason, who just wants someone to follow him, as he says. Okay, so he says, I need someone who goes where I need to be, where I need to go and be excited by my accomplishments. Like, what? She had her own job. Granted, it was like a part-time job at a newspaper, and then the newspaper closed down while she was on assignment. Like, still, she has aspirations, she has dreams, but he just wants someone who's going to drop everything and be his little cheerleader. And David, on the other hand, like, he actually read her articles before he even knew her. And he adopted a dog because of her article about dog adoptions. And, he sees her, he hears her, and he loves her. And Jason is a jerk and doesn't know a thing about her, never read any of her articles. She basically, like, begs him to kiss her, and he won't even do it. He, like, gives her a slight peck and then is on the phone again. But on the other hand, David, he kissed her once and, like, couldn't stop kissing her. and a real sweet moment. And like, if they were walking down the street and I was pairing people up, I would have never paired them together. But in this movie, I really do like them together. I think they're super cute. They're a lot of fun. And I don't know. Just something about it. It's what makes me like this movie. So when I was done watching this movie, oh, sorry. Let me backtrack for a moment. So she talks to her mom after David had yelled at the mom, and said, like, told her how wonderful her daughter is, and that she's a super talented writer, and asked if she'd ever read any of the stuff that she had sent her, or that the stuff that she had read. Well, it turns out Hillary had been sending her her newspaper articles this whole time, and she's never read them. And so she sits down and she reads them, and after that her daughter comes in and is talking to her about Jason, and she's like, do you love him? And she goes, no, I think I hate him. And the mom's like, I think I hate him too. And she goes, I like David even though he yelled at me. And the whole family bands together, kicks Jason out of the house. She takes Jason's Tesla, because her car broke down, to go and win David back. And then it fast forwards a year, they get married, and all the new couples are there. So her friend with the surfer guy, her sister's there. She was pregnant, so she has her new baby. And then the younger sister, Joy, she's there with the guy she broke up her engagement with to be with. And it's just, everything's wrapped up in a little bow, except for one thing. In the movie, Hillary's dad asks Jason, aka David, what a lot of time he asks several different times in various ways about if someone would get in trouble for this kind of crime or this kind of thing, just legal advice. And we never get a resolution on that. Like, was the dad doing tax evasion? Was he paying people off? Did he go to jail? We don't know. That's never answered. And it never will be answered. So that's just something we have to think about and we have to live with. And, I guess I'm okay with it. So there is The Holiday Engagement. You can find it streaming. I really, really do enjoy it. I think it's a super cute movie. And I highly recommend. If you like Hallmark movies, this is a really good one. So when I was done with that movie, it actually popped up the holiday date, and it's essentially the same story. We have the main character. She's going home for Christmas. Her boyfriend just broke up with her, and she doesn't want to disappoint her family, so she has this guy that she meets at a friend's Christmas party. And he's an actor as well. And he's going to pretend to be her boyfriend. But again, he is also Jewish and has never celebrated Christmas, but he is referred to as Mr. Christmas, which is funny because her actual boyfriend wanted nothing to do with Christmas. He was not a huge Christmas guy. He's kind of like the guy Jason in the other movie. He thinks things are going too fast. He doesn't really want to be with her anymore. All he cares about is work. He does come back towards the mid to end of the movie, but it's not to win her back. it's to set the record straight because a lot of things happen and someone thinks that he is that her date is this man, and so they post that they're getting engaged even though they weren't getting engaged. And he's like, why does it say on Instagram that we're together and we're getting engaged? Like, you tagged me in it, or someone tagged me in it. And she has to explain, like, no, that's not what happened. And she kind of looks crazy. I've actually seen this movie before. I couldn't remember it before we started watching, but I remembered it as soon as it started. The main girl, she is I guess like a kind of a tailor of some sort. She works for like a fashion company, and I guess she like fixes or adjusts dresses that need adjustment when like high clientele come in. But what she really wants to do is have her own, like, she wants to be a fashion designer. But the lady that she works for just doesn't think she has the right taste. She thinks that she needs to be more modern, or like know what fashion is coming and not just go with the trends that are right now. But she likes classic fashion. And so she wants, more stuff that's like timeless. And she ends up last minute having to do the costumes for a period piece that's about Christmas. And of course, her boss ends up being there for some reason. And she gets the job that she wanted, but she turns it down so she can become a costume designer for movies, which she happens to know somebody in the movies, which is aka her date, who's an actor. And when her family finds out that he is Jewish and he's never celebrated Christmas, one cool thing is that they start celebrating Hanukkah to make him feel included. And so they do a lot of Hanukkah stuff in the movie, which was different. They don't normally, like, until I think last year or the year before, they started incorporating more like Hanukkah movies and just other kind of families, other ways to celebrate the holiday season, which was really cool. So we got to see that side of it besides just the Christmas. It's a cute movie. Of the three movies, it's definitely my least favorite. But if you love Hallmark movies, it's a good one to watch. Obviously they get together, that's a no-brainer. But yeah, that's kind of all I have for that movie. I didn't take too many notes. But yes. So the third movie, which is probably the most important one besides the first one, because that one's actually about Thanksgiving. We have Holiday in Handcuffs. I may want to review this one later down the line, so I won't go over it too much. But I really enjoy Holiday in Handcuffs. I actually own the movie. I believe Melissa Joan Hart's company made the movie. And I think I remember hearing on her podcast that it was like one of the first made for TV like Christmas movies that kind of started this trend that we have now of Christmas movies, romantic rom-com Christmas movies. And I just always really enjoyed it. I own it on DVD just like I own the other movie. I've seen it multiple times. So basically we have Melissa Joan Hart. She is a artist. So we have an artist, we have a writer or journalist, and then we have a tailor or a fashion designer. So all the women, obviously that's they're all artistic fields. So coming up with this lie is kind of fun that all of them are very artistic people. So I could kind of see where they would, think like it's fun to come up with this fun, whimsical story and, put like on a show, basically. All the guys work, like, one of them's a lawyer, one of them is an architect, and one of them works in selling properties, I believe. So they all kind of do the same sort of thing. I think the lawyer, I want to say he does criminal, but I think he also does like acquisitions of, mergers of companies, and he does like the law stuff for it, if I remember correctly. I don't really pay attention to that, so, because Jason's an asshole. But anywho, all the parents are very similar. In all three movies, the parents are together. The moms are very overbearing and like all up in their biscuits, just like, when are you going to be married? Why don't you have somebody? Are you bringing them home? Are they actually real? Are they coming? Wear this, do that, put your hair like this. You should be on a diet, like just on and on and on and on. And so it's like, well, no wonder why your kids have to lie. And what I find really funny in two of the three movies, the other siblings also have secrets that they're keeping from their family, and it all comes out around the dinner table. So it's kind of funny how that parallel works. And then let's see here. Well, except for the two actors, obviously. The two actors. The best, the way it's done, the best I'd have to say is probably Holiday in Handcuffs, because he is telling everybody that he is not her boyfriend and that he has been kidnapped, but she told the family that he likes to do this as a joke and to just go along with it. And so they don't believe him, or they are pretending to go along with it, even though they are going along with it. And so it's kind of funny. And then they stop at a gas station, and she tells him like, oh, I'm surprising my boyfriend. And you think he's going to turn her in to the cops because she has him tied up. But instead he brings her furry cuffs because she has him tied up with like a scarf. And he's like, no, this will work a lot better. And then when he goes to the gas station and he's trying to get help to get away from this family, the guy doesn't believe him because he thinks that she brought him for a risque weekend. So it's just kind of fun, the parallels between these three movies. I see so many movies, especially Hallmark ones, that are very similar to this. I couldn't name them all right now. Ironically, one of them was the proposal is what they brought up. But I mean, technically, yes, it is sort of the same, but he wasn't dating anybody. And they're doing it for a green card. So I don't feel like that one actually counts, because in all these other ones, they're playing a real person. It's just not that person. And so I don't really count that one. Um, there was a couple other movies that came up, and I was like, I mean, sort of, I guess, in a like a in a sense, yes, are the same. But I I like these. I think they're really fun. Um, Obviously, like I said, uh, I highly recommend Holiday in Handcuffs and also the Holiday Engagement. The third one, I just I don't see it in that one as much. It doesn't give me all the feels. The other two give me the feels. But what I would like to do is go over what people said about the movies. So let me find that. So I went on to uh, Reddit, and then I went on to Rotten Tomatoes, and this is what people have to say about Holiday Engagement. So this is a 5-star review. This is from 2023, so pretty more recent. It said, I love this movie. Bonnie Somerville and Jordan Bridges were absolutely wonderful. The chemistry between Bonnie and Jordan was so real, which made the movie so good. The cast, production, direction, etc. were all A plus. I have seen a lot of Hallmark movies, and this one's the top. And then we have another 5-star. It says, I love this movie. Sure, it's cheesy, but what do you expect? Me and my family watch this every year. It's sweet, fun to watch, and genuinely made me laugh. It's not an art house film, but it's compelling and adorable. Enjoy this movie with the family and friends during the holidays. And then we have not so pleasant ones. This one says, terrible acting, dialogue, and story. It was so bad I couldn't stop watching the train wreck of a movie. Which, I mean, means it couldn't have been that bad because there are plenty of movies I have stopped because it was so terrible. So I feel like if you didn't stop watching it, you must have liked it. And then we have, I love Bonnie Somerville and she plays the part perfectly, but I hate this movie. It's a lack of cinematography and apparent single take mentality. Okay. So I can kind of understand what they're talking about. It does seem like it's a very low budget film. There's a scene where they're auditioning these guys who want to be her fake boyfriend. And you can tell that every single one was done in the same room and they just dressed the set differently, which is common. They do that in movies. However, it's a very tight shot and they all have like wacky wallpaper, or well, it's supposed to be wallpaper, but it's actually fabric that's just hanging on the wall. And at times you can see it moving when it's not supposed to be moving. And it just kind of takes you out of it a little bit. And it's like, what world will all these guys have this wacky wallpaper in their place? Like it, you can tell it's wouldn't be any of their vibes. But other than that, I don't really think that all the takes were just the first take. Like I don't remember any other scenes that are shittily done like that. That's the only part of the movie that bugs me. But that's such a minute, when you're recording 8 different people, it's kind of hard to set deck a 8 different apartments or houses or whatever. So I get why they would kind of cheapen out that way. But I don't agree with this person's review. So another one, they give it a 2-star review. It says, totally nothing new here, completely predictable. I was sharing with my wife what would come next, and there it was. Decent enough acting, but really nothing to work with. And the romance, which in these movie things is the entire point of the movie, didn't really feel real. I don't agree. I think it did. Let's see here. Predictable, horrible acting. What more does a terrible movie need? But they gave it 2 stars. Oh goodness. But then we have a 5-star. This is from 2017. It says, one of the best movies I've ever seen. Super sexy cast, great music, and the lead singing sounds. Oh, wow. The lead's singing sounds like a cross between Fergie and Jesus. Plotline was well thought out, realistic, and not at all contrived. Spoiler alert, although I would have liked to hear more about Roy's legal troubles. Hey, that's what I said. Can anyone say a sequel? Haley Duff's acting was legendary, and Jason Pancake has definitely honed his craft. I would recommend everyone see this twice. Great, just great. 10 thumbs up. I feel like that's someone's parent. Like, that doesn't sound like a real review. That sounds like I wrote it for my dad. Be like, this is a great movie, especially that Jim guy. He was fantastic. But hey, it's probably a real review. I don't know. Another person said, love this movie. It was kind of predictable, but the screen where Bonnie and Jordan sing together was absolutely memorable. See, that's what I said. It's a good scene. Jordan Bridges was the only good thing about this movie. I mean, I feel like Bonnie held her own, but, that's just me. This was actually quite charming, albeit completely unrealistic and dangerous, but I felt Hillary's plan as a woman looking for love, all the while being reminded of her age, her career, and the fact that adulting these days can be quite difficult to maneuver through successfully. They gave it 2.5 stars. Oh, they reviewed it on my birthday. Look at that. And then acting is less than desirable. Cute story. Predictable. They gave it 2 stars. Let's see here. A typical love story. Mindless for an evening of watching. They gave it 3 stars. And then someone gave it 3 out of 4 stars. It says, sweet movie, nothing deep, just cuteness and mushiness. Nice afternoon time killer for the holidays. And then here is this one. It's a 4-star review, totally predictable and cliche, basically a Christmas version of The Proposal, which we've already discussed. I don't agree at all. Let's see here, but adorable nonetheless. Very similar story to the ABC's film Christmas in Handcuffs, which they have that wrong. It's Holiday in Handcuffs, which I watched last night with a much, much better execution. Yes. I would have to say that's probably the better of the two, but I love this movie. So, yes, Holiday in Handcuffs with Melissa Joan Hart and Mario Lopez seemed probably more real, but I just really enjoy Holiday Engagement. And that's okay. I can decide that if I want to. And then I have a few reviews of Holiday in Handcuffs. This movie became the highest viewed broadcast in the history of ABC Family with 6.7 million viewers and adults 18 to 49. So that's a little tidbit. Cyrus K says, awful acting, a disturbed story, unlikable characters, an awkward tone, and just a level of insanity that makes this one of the most bonkers movies of all time. He gave it a 0.5 out of 5 stars. I don't agree with him. I think he is being ridiculous. Another person gave it 5 stars. It says, fun Christmas movie that I've been watching since I was young. It's lighthearted, rom-com, and if you take the movie as it is, you'll enjoy it, which I agree. Another person gave it 5 stars, says, a favorite Christmas movie. I watch it every year. We have a 1-star review. It says, an hour and a half of pure torture, though they kept watching. Terrible story, terrible characters, terrible film. I disagree. Someone gave it a 0.5 star. This is the worst holiday movie I've ever seen. Now that is a bunch of phooey. I've seen a lot of holiday movies. A lot of them. I can tell you almost Up. I think it's Up. Or Great American Family. There's times where those are just unwatchable. We watch it, but they are. But this one is not one of them. Terrible story, terrible characters, terrible film. Oh, sorry. The lead role is an unlikable trash pile. How the hell am I supposed to like or empathize with her? The premise is she literally holds a man against his will over Christmas, flip their genders, and watch everyone lose their minds. Add in the fact that it's painfully predictable and therefore boring, and you will want to shoot yourself in the face by halfway. Okay. So what he's talking about is that Melissa Joan Hart's character takes Nick, Mario Lopez, kidnapped. She basically kidnaps him because he's kind of similar to her boyfriend that breaks up with her. He looks like a business guy. He is in a fancy jacket. He's in a suit. He looks respectable, much like her guy. And she just loses it and uses this gun that she doesn't know if it's real or not. It's a very old weapon. And takes him out to her car, but she doesn't shoot him or anything. He actually slips on the ice and knocks himself out, and that's how she gets him into the car. And then later on, she does try to shoot it for some reason, or it accidentally goes off. No one gets hurt. I can see why they would say if the roles were reversed, people would be having a problem with it. I think it just depends on how they kidnap them. If we all know it was a banana that he's using and they just don't know, I don't think anybody would care. Obviously, if he has an actual weapon, I could see where people wouldn't like the movie and would have a problem with it. But, I don't know. It was also done a different time. And it's a movie. It's not real life. Obviously, if either of these things happened, guy, girl, it doesn't matter. If it happened in real life, we would all be up in arms. But it's a movie. Calm down. It says, so this person gave it a 5-star review, sorry. So love the 2 main characters. That's all they have to say. Someone gave it 4.5 stars. Didn't expect much. I was pleasantly surprised. It was funny and charming, however, incredibly predictable. And it's true. But there's something fascinating about why predictability in Christmas movies just seems to be better and charming and make you feel good than being surprised. I think it's something with the holiday. You'd like to know what's going to happen and that everything's going to be okay and it's all going to be wrapped up in a nice little bow. When it isn't, that's when it takes you out of the magic of Christmas. So you need predictability. You need it to be something familiar. So it just makes you feel good. Let's see here. Someone gave it 3 stars. It says, ugh, it's cutesy. TV Christmas movie with a slightly absurd plot riddled with nonsense. Good thing I like absurd, cutesy Christmas movies, especially one with handcuffs. And that is all the reviews I have. Again, I like all 3 of these movies. If you have Hallmark Plus, which I don't have, if you have it, let me know if it's worth it. Because we're highly debating. There's a new Sarah Drew movie that's going to be on streaming. It's like a mystery Christmas movie. She kicks ass in the movie, and I kind of want to watch it, but then we have to get another streaming service, and so I'm a little annoyed by that. But if you have it and you think it's worth it, let me know. Yeah, and if you have a favorite Christmas movie that you are upset that we haven't recorded yet, let me know that. Send us an email, send us a text. Well, not a text. You don't have my number. That'd be weird if you did. Well, there's a couple people in here that probably do. But yeah, if you want something specific done, you know, this holiday is also yours. So let me know. I will review that movie. We do have a really good one coming up soon. It will be with somebody else, so it's not just me here talking. If you enjoyed just me talking about the movie, going in a little bit in depth, you know, talking about the characters that are in the movie, the people that are in the movie, let me know that too. And if you don't like it, if you rather me have other people and someone to bounce stuff off on, let us know. You can find us at Two Chicks Talkin Flicks on all platforms. And as always, toodles.
This episode was produced by Two Chicks Talkin Flicks. Music was produced by Michael Giovanni. If you like this episode, please like and subscribe. If you'd like to be a part of the show, have a movie suggestion, or just want to give us some love, you can email us at twochickstalkinflicks@gmail.com. Thanks, guys. Toodles.